Yeah, I took that picture in Knoxville at Holston Hills Country Club one morning. I was playing in a tournament. It was about 6:30 in the morning, and I just had to stop and turn the car around and take a snapshot of that. It's pretty, that's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Sam, welcome.
Oh, hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
How you doing, Sam? How's the weather there in Japan?
It's freezing.
Freezing?
About 5 degrees Celsius.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty close to that. I'm pretty close to that here. Yeah,
Oh,
in northern Ohio.
everybody same in winter.
Yeah, no snow. You have snow?
No, no snow.
Yeah, we had almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, what is that? That's probably about 20 degrees Celsius, I would guess.
20 degrees.
For Christmas.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Have you go out to set play or something?
Did I go out?
Yeah.
No, we stayed home. I have two children that are in
Oh,
their
okay.
that are in their 30s. If you're familiar with the US, one child went to Phoenix and another child went to Miami, Florida,
Okay.
to visit their in-laws. So my wife and I were alone with our four dogs.
Nice.
Good.
How about you?
No, it's not a holiday in Japan.
Not
So
a
after,
holiday?
yeah, after work.
Yeah, I guess it's a Judeo-Christian, you know, holiday. I forget that sometimes, although it is celebrated all over Europe and a lot of parts of the world, I suppose.
Yeah, we will separate it. Yeah, after work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if we yeah, I don't know. Maybe because of the holiday, people are not gonna join. I don't know. I feel like this would be a good time to join if you're just sitting around in the cold.
We're between holidays.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody takes off. Most of the development firms, the larger ones, are off for this week. So, you know,
So what have you been working on, Jeremy?
um, I've got a couple widgets I'm building for people, a Google Map thing that I'm trying to do individual colors for each icon depending on some data points. That's kind of annoying. But using Chat GPT to help me out, so that's good. I'm going to, during office hours today, I'm gonna start up a Highcharts integration. I've never done that in the development environment. Just want to see if it works. There's someone in the community was struggling with a big old substitution mess that it was just, I mean, it was nuts. So in the Claris community, so I'm gonna show them an alternative path.
Highcharts? Yeah, let's look at that.
It's a commercial library, but I think they have a free version of it.
That's a React library.
Yeah.
What about this particular library was the inspiration to use it?
I don't know. It's a well-known library in our community, in the FileMaker community. People,
Okay.
but like I said, It's got it's normally you have to pay for it, so but I think there's a community license or something, so I'll see.
Let's see pricing. Don't see community, see internal SaaS plus OEM.
It seems no free license.
They're a free license.
Yeah, that you could just try, but
Yeah,
maybe
well, you can
if you are
use
ready
it.
to launch, yeah.
It looks like you can use it. I don't remember. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't use this library personally. There's too many
But
other
they are,
ones that are free.
but they are going to increase their price
Yeah.
few days later.
Yeah.
They they have a, I mean, what I guess what's interesting is they have a Chat GPT component that will use their library, and you can tell it what you want to make and it will pretty much make it for you. But that, I don't know, guys. I don't feel like that's the hard part of working with JavaScript and FileMaker is picking the options and such. So I don't know. I'm struggling to fully understand the use of Chat GPT and stuff in the work that we do. I use it pretty much every day to help me with a quick little function. Actually, I'll show you one quick that I did. Let's pull it up here.
Have you tried the custom GPT they have released it recently? In beta.
The what
Oh.
You
one?
could
Or-
create a custom model in Chat GBT. Your own model.
Oh, my own one.
Yeah.
I haven't. I tried it, or I looked at it one time, but someone said that they use ChatGPT to help them build a custom ChatGPT. I tried that, and it didn't. It didn't help me.
Which one are you using? The open AI version? Have you tried like Bing and so forth? Experimented around Bard and Bing and so forth?
I haven't.
Because different ones are better at certain
I'm
specific
back.
tasks.
Yeah.
You might check out the Bing, the Microsoft version. It's been pretty good. It gives different feedback than the OpenAI. I don't know if you're using the version 3 or the version 4, but there's supposed to be a huge difference in about an order of magnitude in its database between 3 and 4 in the OpenAI version.
Okay. Yeah, I just upgraded to the 4, and so
Okay.
it's been pretty good. I'll show you here quick. This is what I used it for. So, I used it to, where is it?
I think what drew me to the Bing version, the Microsoft version, is that they're using 4 and it's still free.
Okay. Well, it doesn't. Oh, where is it? Come on.
Hey, Mark.
Oh, here it is.
Hey,
So here's what I've been using it for. I started to use it for. I asked it to. So I spent a lot of time actually coming up with the prompts. Here it is. It says write a function, JS function to determine the final color of a record. Here is the record. So yeah, I mean it's not formatted, but I have a record that eventually will have these properties on hold, needs scheduled, type, assigned, driver color, status, date manufactured is scheduled type color. And I need it to return the final color. So I said, determine the icon color in the variable final color given these parameters. The type color is determined by the type. This color is the default. So this type color is the default. It said if the record is on hold, the final color is the hex value for orange. If a record has a type of repo or pickup and is not assigned, then red, and so forth and so forth. So it gave me a fairly nice function. I could have written this myself because this is pretty dang straightforward, but I wanted to try it out with it because, this is what Chat GPT is for, I think, is to help at least us FileMaker developers write a quick function that does something that we, a little problem that we need to solve.
And that's that's pure JavaScript there too. And you were
Yeah.
kind of important JSX, weren't you?
It was just a formatting thing. So I wrote this in Notion. And that's, I guess, how they format it. In my mind thingy. So it yeah, but it took my sample record
Mhm.
and it correctly picked out the pieces and what I needed to do. So that actually worked really well. And then I guess I can just show you quick here. This is what I am working on right here. So this is what I'm trying to build right over here on the left. This Google map with these different icons based on record types, and then the colors determine, a status or something interesting. So this is what I'm building for someone. We're trying to replace over on the right. This is a version of it that is hosted on a server, and it's using the data API and it's using PHP, I think, to deal with the data. I'm doing it all as a widget over here, and it's working out. It's working nicely. So, yeah. So that's what I've been working on. Yeah.
Can you change the icons?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah. Just their SVGs, and the hard part is I think I'm using an old version of, because I'm using a lot of the code that they used before, but I'm using SVGs and I'm having to, there's a fill property inside the SVG that I'm having to update on the fly. So it's kind of a pain in the butt because
Oh yeah, for the FileMaker SVG to change
Yeah.
colors.
yeah. Workaholic.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I found a file that supposedly would do that a while back, but it didn't work very well. So I got to the point where I just opened up the SVG and I knew what to put in there. I just manually do it. It was quicker.
Okay.
I like the fact that you can do that now.
So wow, well, welcome everyone. It's good to have you here. Workaholic, who are you? I forget. I've seen that before. Who is that? Who is that? It's just you. Hugo, that's right. Hugo, how you doing? Good to see you here. Cool. Well, I don't know. Let's do some work here. I want to play with some Highcharts, and I think that would be fun. So the post, I'll show you the post that I was talking about. Try to find it here in the community here. Highcharts. So I have no problem with the person using Highcharts and doing it the way that they're doing it. So it's not, to me, it's not about that. It's not about their how they did it. I answered their question, which was a simple fix. And then I suggested that there's alternative ways. So the guy has this where it's actually, his file's not bad. I'll download it and show it, but wait, is this one? No, this isn't the one. Sorry, this isn't the one. Let me find it here. Yesterday, this one. Okay. All right, so it's this one. All right, so he posted he posted the code in the community, but he's working with the Highcharts library, and this is basically what he's doing. He's taking it's hard to read because it's not very well formatted, but he's doing a huge substitution where he's got these fields and they've got values in them, and he's doing a huge substitution. So he's substituting some text. It looks like what he did is they took a demo copy like of the you know how every JavaScript library has options. It looks like what this person did is they took a template of options, and they are doing a bunch of substitutions to replace what was in this kind of the template with their stuff. So like this text is a property. Apparently it started to be scatter chart, and he's replacing it with his text. And here's a name, the series 1, and then here's a list of values that he's trying to put in there, and series 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So his problem was he couldn't get the max to work. And I simply reminded him that, oh yeah, here's the original. I simply reminded him that max is lowercase m, and he was trying to put in an uppercase m. He was trying to do a substitute for uppercase m max.
Yep,
So
case in point.
what?
Yep, case in point where capitals and lowercase actually comes into play.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it's so inconsistent in our world. Some days it's some functions don't care about case sensitivity and some do. So that sucks. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't think the execute data API cares.
it doesn't? You don't think it does?
I don't think it does. Yeah, because I made a mistake in a query and I was surprised that it returned a result actually that I was looking for. I'll have to document that, but it just recently happened and it surprised me.
So what I answered him was the answer. But then I said, how's it going with all this substitution? I found it to be tedious to work out. Also, using any substitute that involves fields changing will refresh and the web viewer will cause a flash. And there are much better ways using modern tools and FileMaker 19 features. And so he answered me and said, would love to see the other ways that you suggest how to handle this data import. So I'm like, this is exactly what I'm here for, is to convince people like this one to not struggle with this, because this is a struggle, right? Getting this correct is a struggle, and handling it properly is a struggle. So what I want to do is I want to walk through and create a chart using the exact same thing this person was using, and see if I can do it fast. I mean, I know I can do it faster, I think, because I've practiced at this, but see if it can be more efficient. So, because that's my whole purpose, right? It's my whole reason for being, is to switch people over from this method to, Gabe notwithstanding, because he's got his way, he's got it working. But even he doesn't do this. We talked about that last week. He never substitutes data in like this because he's using FileMaker 19's features. So that will be the challenge, and that will be the fun of this, is to, let's just look at the scatter chart and see if we can, where is it?
It was up above there.
Oh, scatter.
Second from the top, right? You just, there it is.
All right, so scatter plots. I guess I'll just start with that one. I'll try that one and see. We're gonna see if. So what he's doing, let's see, he's probably just viewing. Yeah, well, I'm not sure which one he's actually using, so this should be, see, I don't even know how you would, this can't be the one that he was using. Let's see if we can find. Maybe this one. He was using one where it showed, what was it? Showed world population. This is a scatter chart. All right, so let's see if I can find it because I'd like to replicate it as closely as possible. Hey, Orlando, good to see you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Are you, do you have downtime for the holidays or is that not a thing in the UK?
Yeah, no, it is a thing. It's not a thing when you work for yourself.
Right.
But yeah, it is, my clients are quiet at the moment, which is nice.
Yeah. Our lives would be great if it were not for the clients, right? So, wow.
My life would be great if I can make money sleeping.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to do with these, they talk about passive income as a thing, and I'm like,
I think it's all a hoax.
I think so too. I've been thinking about that. I listened to a podcast on plain English about the use of AI in our sector, in technology in general, you could reasonably use AI and Chat GPT to help you learn JavaScript. I don't know if it's as complete, but there are still people that put tons of time into free and paid courses out there, and I wonder if that's going to drop off. I'm in the middle of working on taking my entire JS and FM course and breaking it into separate courses that just give people more options. Like one of them is understanding JavaScript libraries and just focusing on that part. And then another one is manipulating data and just making them smaller courses, more accessible in price. And but I wonder, I hope that those will still be useful later on. I can use Chat GPT to help me to manipulate data, but it's nice I think it's good to know what you're doing, right? Copying code and just pasting it into your text
To
editor.
that end, I just subscribed to a Code Academy for a year. They had 50% off, and I just wanted access to some of the stuff that wasn't for free. And my thought is I'm gonna kind of bone up a little bit on JSX, just the format of it, understand it more completely, and then React and JavaScript. It's really nice because all of the information is kind of consolidated there together. And
Yep.
yeah, it was pretty cost effective.
So
So I think, that would be especially relative to the kinds of things that we do specifically with the libraries that we've been exposed to, learning those skills. I like the way, and that was one of the things that kind of attracted me at the beginning to you was, JavaScript is such a broad palette. And with FileMaker, we use a half a dozen, functions, methods, over and over and over again. And so those are the ones that you really need to be most familiar with to become productive with FileMaker. But as you're kind of demonstrating to us with React and some other tools, there are additional embellishments that you can add to your apps and so forth. So yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, so I'm still going to work through it and I'm putting together just different ones. So hopefully the month of January allows me to sit down and just focus on coursework and forego any or many many client work things because I really just need to focus on coursework. I need a month or so without interruption, which means my dogs should go away for a month too. So, all right, well, let's just try something. If you guys don't mind, let's just do this. I can't find the exact example that this person had. And I think it's just, data 0.000, scatter chart, name and web link, series 1. So I don't know. So this person found a scatter chart with world population. Let me just try that. Let me do this. Let me do Highcharts, example, scatter chart, world population. Because I'd like to try that, but if not, I'm just gonna make my own. So let's just do our own. Scatter plot. So we'll just do this. So the code is really confusing in my opinion. It seems so we got a series and he has that. I'm gonna see if I can series name. He's got a bunch of names. Max 2.5. I don't know what that is. Oh, y-axis. Okay. X-axis and y-axis. X-axis.
So
Okay.
in about 10 or 15 minutes, I may drop off and I may just stay connected and mute my mic, but me and the boss got to get on doing a manual
Okay.
before the end. So I may have to just chat you, Jeremy, at the end,
Sure.
even if you end before I can get back. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Okay. Well,
hopefully.
we'll chat. Let's chat outside of this anyway, so it's not recorded. Thing.
Okay.
I'll send you another link, but yeah, ping me when
Okay.
you're ready to talk.
Yeah, I'll ping you on the chat again.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't know where that person got the example from because this is.
Yeah, I don't see a US population sample on the
Yeah.
web.
Let's see, what did he say? HTML code. I've written the script to modify the HTML code. Oh, well, here's what I'll do. I'll just create one and see if we can get it to work. Okay, so let's close this out.
And what's the ultimate? Is it going to be? It's just a scatter, or is it going to be a map of the U.S. with displaying density?
I think the person has their own data that has nothing to do with the world population. They just took an example from somebody else.
Yeah.
And they put it in there.
But is it going to is it overlaid over like a U.S. map?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. All right, so let's run through the process here. npx at integrating magic / create JS in FM widget. npx what? Oh, integrating magic. Forgot my own company name. Scatter. Do JS. All right. I should have that on a hotkey. You have that on a hotkey, right, Doug?
I've got it in a shell script.
Shell script. Okay, that's useful. I used to have it on my Steam Deck, my Stream Deck. A button did it, but it stopped working, so I don't know what's going on. All right, so let's do an npm install of the Highcharts. Npm install Highcharts. We'll see if this works. It should be fine as a
Yeah, it looks like all the installs are the same regardless of which of the maps you're doing.
yeah. So I could, excuse me, I could, let's see, I have ESM modules. So I could import different modules, or I think I could just import, that's interesting. This approach is not there. Interesting. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, this is because this is another reason why I wouldn't use this, because this is a commercial one. It's very so I'm gonna just do Highcharts. It's very complex in the packaging that they have. So using it in the environment is okay, but it certainly can take its toll. So if I do an import Highcharts, I don't know if that'll work. Let's do
Yeah, and it's got a feature like data tables does to create custom
yeah. So
features.
let's do an example here. Let's get to an example. So charts. We'll just grab scatter. What have you been up to, Orlando?
Not much JavaScript wise anyway.
Well, then get out of here. I mean,
I do need to do more though. I've got more coming up next year.
okay.
It's been more FM better forms and
Oh, get out of here.
FileMaker 11.
FileMaker 11. Oh yeah.
So my life has been fun.
Yeah. Isn't that frustrating to have to regress like that? And I can't even, that's just sounds so frustrating to me to have to do things in ways that there are better ways of doing it, and you have to
Oh, absolutely. Painful. On Windows as well, so it's even
yeah.
Windows for a remote terminal for FileMaker 11. It's just constantly locking myself out because of the shortcuts being wrong.
You don't have to work on that, do you?
Hey, I've got a general question that kind of came up yesterday. While Jeremy, you're looking, if you don't mind, if I
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
I have a customer that uses multiple printers. They print a customer copy and then like a file copy, and they use one printer with it's already got the letterhead on it. So, and the printer is networked, and so it worked fine with the network printer when it was on an Apple computer, and Bonjour would broadcast the name of the printer, because then you could take and you could on another client that was sharing the printer from another Mac, you can rename the printer to whatever name you want to. But in Windows, it has this nasty habit of taking the name and adding some backslashes to it and then saying which machine it comes from. And I couldn't find a way around doing that. So basically, essentially, when you have a script step, the script step that prints, if you have a restored version to where it points to a particular printer, and that printer doesn't exist, it just prints to the default printer on the system. So it would print all the copies to one printer. And customer called me and said, "Hey, we switched over to Windows computers, and now it's not printing right." the only way I could figure to do it was to get the persistent ID of that particular client and then run the script, change the script so it looks for that client and then have it run a subscript to grab the printers. Is there a better way of doing that? Or is there a way to rename the printers on like Windows 10 and 11 so it's the same as it is on the other machine?
I name all mine. I mean, I have certain printers. We have Zebra printers here in the office that people print to between Mac and PC, and I named both of them. I named the printer the same on both. I still have to do if it's the Mac platform, then use this. If it otherwise do this for PC or anything else. But I mean, I've never had an issue with any of that.
But how do you have the Zebra printer set up? You have the Zebra printer set up. Is it?
It's a network. Both of our Zebra printers are networked and they
Right.
have an IP address on them, but
Yeah.
we set all of our printers, no matter what they are, to static IPs internal. So the 192.168. Whatever IPs, we
Yeah.
set them to static IPs, so they're always the same, no matter what. But they're both networked. All of our printers are networked, and I just make sure they're named the same on all platforms when I go to install them and install the drivers.
Looks like
Yeah.
Workaholic or Hugo says, go download Fingerprint from collabos.com. They make both a PC and Mac version, and it's only $10. It does the same thing. So I don't know if that's helpful, but is there a Windows app?
I thought it was $100. I wasn't gonna do that. It's Fingerprint.
I simply output anything that is needed for printing to a PDF and then let them decide from the PDF viewer. So I stopped sending anything directly to a printer for all my apps. I just open a PDF.
They wanted a one press button that is just print because they do the same thing every time. It's a point of sale. They want to hit print and they want to print 2 file copies and customer copy and not interact with it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I have both platforms. I have both Mac and PC. So if I program something on my Mac and I need to do something like printing between the 2 platforms, I'll just open up the same FM file on my PC and just make sure. Usually I just do an if else statement. If it's the Mac platform, then do this print setup step and print. Otherwise, if it's PC, then do the else statement and I choose the printer on my PC and save it on my PC at that point. That's basically, but I mean, it's all internal and I'm not doing it for a client that outside my network.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that control. The other option that I came up with was to install Bonjour on the Windows machines, and then it would end up speaking the same language as Apple. But yeah, I had to run out. Yeah,
when you're dealing with having to do print stuff for between different platforms, it gets a little bit hairy. There's no easy way to do it.
Yeah.
Because you've got to physically select a printer. You've got to tell it which printer.
You have to do it at least once. You have to do it at least once to where you select it manually, and then it remembers that printer the next time. But yeah, and it's kind of a quirky FileMaker thing. And there's no way. I couldn't find a way, at least when I Googled it, I couldn't find a way in Windows to allow me to rename that shared printer from another PC to the same name that it was on the other PC. It wants to add its stuff to it. Where with on Bonjour, you can name it anything you want. It's just a little bit more flexible.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never looked at the collabos.com thing that Workaholic's talking about. It looks like he said there's a free 6-day trial, so I mean you can test it out and see what it does. But yeah, I mean the fact that I have access to our whole network, and it's all internal. I don't have an issue with it because I can just choose it on 2 different platforms. So,
That's,
but I just use print setup I use print setup first and select the
Yep.
printer, and then
Yeah.
I do the print step sometimes.
yeah,
But sometimes if I know that it's going to be a specific printer, like our Zebra printers, every single time, I'll just do the print step and just make sure it forces to use the Zebra.
yeah, having it print, and that was the other option is like what you're doing is to use a like a work group printer, have it, assign it a network address, and then, you know, the network address is the network address, you know, and it would be the same regardless of what machine it is,
Yeah,
coming from, what type of machine.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I've done
Using
that
an
with
IP
Zebra
and a print step would be a whole lot easier if FileMaker tried to go that route and tried to figure out how to do that in FileMaker, because you can just put the IP of the printer in there and, you know,
Yeah.
voila, it works.
Let's
Hello,
see.
Al. Welcome.
Anyway,
Welcome. Say hi. Give you a chance. Or is that AI? One of the two. Is AI coming? Did it know we were talking about it?
probably.
Probably, yeah. Well, hey, so I got this working while you were talking about FileMaker things, FileMaker. And okay, so what I really just copied the base code. So I copied the base code and it works just fine. I'll go through it in a little bit, but the point of the exercise that I'm trying to do with this person is to show show them an alternative way to get the data in, rather than getting the data in in this case, the data is gotten in via a function here, this async function. It goes and fetches the data, which happens to be, where is it? I just had it, which happens to be, I must have shut it, but I could simply click on this and it will take me to the data source. So that's pretty cool that the data source is hosted and I can test this out. Obviously, I don't want my data hosted like this, but this is actually interesting because it gives me some thoughts about data. Anyway, so my data is here. What I did is I took it and I put it into the FileMaker file just in this data text field. And the task that I want to do, which is completely solvable, is to show the OP how I would get the data in from FileMaker using the modern ways of doing it. So, I mean, this is pretty simple. This one it's doing a lot of work where it's fetching the data. So after the data, we have a function, an async function that awaits for the fetch, awaits for the data to come back, and then it does the work of running the chart, creating the chart. So this one here, the data is here. I am looking at the data, and looks like I'm for each element. If the sport equals the sport name, then it's actually what it's doing is it's constructing an array right. It's constructing an array right at the moment. So it's taking each element, which looks again like this, and it's saying, I think it's saying if the weight is greater than 0 and the height is greater than 0 and the sport equals the sport name. So what is this doing? So the sport is athletics, or what am I doing here? Let's see. So it's running through and it's only looking at some of these pieces of data. Okay, so there's 3 pieces of data. There's basketball, triathlon, and volleyball. So we want to look for anything that is, I think it is basketball. 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 Is basketball in here anywhere?
There's a lot of data there.
Yeah, there's 11,000 records here. Let's do this. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, but there are different sports there. There's football, there's all different kinds of sports.
Yeah, so it's so the function get data is going to run over for each of the series. So this is a little bit complex, but here's the series, and it's looking at the ID of the series and it's matching it up with this. So it's basically doing a filter. It's just running through each element, and it's saying if the sport name is equal to whatever sport name is in each series of data one at a time, then create an array of the height and the weight of that record. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to be, it looks like it's temp. So all of the data, an array of data for sport gets put into individual array elements inside this temp variable, and then it's returned. This return becomes the, I guess, s.data. So the series.data, it gets added to this object here. And then down here, series, where is the word series?
You could console log the,
Yeah, let's do that. Well, let's just console log the series because that's what we're trying to see.
yeah,
Is that. So here's the data, and then here's the series. So the series is exactly what it needed to be. Each of the 3 data points that they wanted to check, and then an array of the height and the weight for each person or whatever element. And then so that's put into that's just becomes an array of objects with each point that is necessary. So it looks like I could come in here and I could change this. I could say, rather than basketball, I'm going to do football. And football. So if I do that, now I have it changed and it's pulling the new data. So that's really cool. So what the OP was interested in is how to get the data in. And I don't know where they're at with their data. I don't know if it's like this or if it's like what it has to be. And that's always the tricky part in working with JavaScript libraries, especially chart libraries, is you have to manipulate the data from this
it looks
to
like just an array of objects, huh?
what?
Looks like it's just an array of objects.
Right, but we want to find all of the football ones and put them into an array that it needs. So apparently the chart, yeah, it needs the scatter chart especially needs some data. But what it needs is it needs an array of objects that are constructed exactly like this in order for it to work. And the
Yeah.
data portion needs to be an array of array elements with 2 values in each,
Yeah.
or X and Y, I guess. That's because that's the correlation, right? Scatter plots kind of show correlations, right?
Yeah.
So if the OP's data is already like this, then they don't have to go through the process of doing all this work. So, that's where it's a little bit tricky, and but it looks like actually now that I think about it, I'm gonna go
The other thing that's going on there is it's changing the color, which is cool based on occurrences.
Yes. So this person, so he's got the series. So this now it's starting to make sense. This part is matching up to what my series, the example series, look like. So here are the 3 series items that eventually get stuffed into right here, into this property. So one of the properties is series, and it gets stuffed in there. So what they're doing is they must have looks like they have a substitute list, they've got a series. Okay, that's the name. I don't know what where the person's getting their data. Maybe they haven't gotten there yet, or data is here. Oh yeah, that's what they're doing. Okay, substitute list, chart one, data pair. Okay, so they do have the data pairs going on. So let's do that for them. In this case, I'm just going to do I'll just do one series for right now, just to kind of replicate what they're doing. Oops. Now I have one series. It'd be nice. I've forgotten how to do this. I don't know if I can do this, especially in this. It would be nice to be able to, can I copy this? Let's see. Copy? Maybe that's just going to copy the word data. Because I would like to be able to take this array. I don't know, did that work? Yeah, it's just gonna copy that. So you know what? I'm just gonna fake it for a minute. And I'm gonna just make it up. So what was it? What was it? All right, so let's just copy some of this data into here, because the point is to show the OP how to get the data in. So we'll do, this is my data pair. This is an array of arrays. We'll do 1.85, 75, close, comma, and then we'll do 3 data points just to make it easy. 1.86, comma, 70, and 1.7 and 65. Okay. So this is my data. Now you all know this because you've seen me work this many times, but the OP needs to know, how do I take this data that's in the field and how do I get it in? I could just do a quick substitution, but in our world, it just makes sense to use this structure. Go fetch the data. So we'll just put the data here. Hey Al, good, welcome. We'll just put the data there. We'll pass it back to the main script. We'll load it. It's an array. Okay. Now this one, load widget, we're just going to call this load chart. Load charts. And then I have to come in here. Now I have to do some surgery to this because so this is an interesting thought, and it's an interesting idea to think about. I am for this case, I am going to keep the series the series object inside of the JavaScript. I could have set this up in FileMaker. It's not that hard to just, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Never mind. So I'm going to take this. So I'm using FileMaker to construct the series. Insert text. We'll do a target of series, and we'll paste it in. And then I have to just fix up a couple things. Got to put that. So I'm constructing the entire series configuration in FileMaker. I was going to leave it inside of the JavaScript, but I think I'll just go and do it this way. All right, so that's the original object. And then I'm going to grab the data, and then I'm going to do this. I'll say set variable series, JSON set element series. Date, is it data? It's data, right? Yes, data. And then I'll do data JSON array. So I'm adding the series to the configuration. So here's the configuration. Here is the series. Let's just check and see if that's correct. Oops, I need to export the right thing. Oh, wait, what did I just do? I said set content fields. Oh, stupid. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know FileMaker very well, guys. Set variable series. There we go. And then we'll export series eventually. So I'm creating the series, the configuration, I'm getting the data, I'm stuffing it in there. Let's just make sure that that is correct. And I got a big mess, so let's see. Let's try it again. Wait, oh, I must have. See, this is why I don't like doing this stuff, guys. There we go. I don't like doing anything that has to do with JSON in FileMaker. No.
Yeah, I just use the JSON set element script, you know.
I
do
put
all that
everything
stuff
in
anymore.
JSON. Data
Yeah.
that's passed from one script to another one in FileMaker, always JSON in my stuff.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah,
Even
I
if
mean,
it's just one
that-
property, one thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, great.
Well, usually sometimes, but I try to because if I do it to where it's default, even if it's only one, then it's scalable.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to get value and script parameters and all that stuff. That's
Yeah,
kind of
at the
nice.
top of my scripts, I have the comments to describe it and parameters if there
There we
is
go.
any, and then I have a declare variable at the top that takes in the JSON data, and then I have a variable with a function that Kyle wrote to convert everything, to grab all the key value pairs and convert them to variables with the data in them.
Okay.
So I
All
don't
right.
have
So
to
this
worry
is
about it.
working. Got it to work. So now the whole point of this is to create the series of data that I need for the data that I want to show. However I get the data, that's, I can leave it, but I've got it constructed correctly. So now we just do what we normally do. We load the chart, we run that function, we pass the JSON in. In this case, I'm going to say the data is coming in. I'm going to just call it a series. And I'll just rename my variable to match. All right. So now it's going to come in. All right. So now let's go over to the JavaScript. I don't need any of this. This is the fetching function, the fetching work. What I want to do is wrap all this. Don't even need that. So I'll just get rid of it there, just comment that out. All right, so Highcharts container. So this is what I'm looking for. So what I'll do is grab all this stuff, get rid of this, grab just this, which is the actual work, and I'll do window dot load charts equals JSON, which is what I always do. And then I'll do const object equals JSON.parse JSON, const series equals object.series, and then I'll do that. So now the data is right here, it's coming in, and then it's going to be used down here in this property right here. So let's do that. Let's run this. Okay, got a little bit of a problem. Actually, it's not a problem. Oh, you know what? I wonder. Okay, so why is that? Let's just plot everything. Do you do a lot of console logs in your stuff, Doug?
I do every step of the way, and then I just comment them out if it's a work, you know, if it's a currently under development, just so I can refer to it.
Yep. So I don't have any data coming in for some reason. So let's go back to here and see. Welcome, Ben. Good to see you. All right, let's run this and see. Oh, I'm not in. Wait. Yeah, I'm in dev mode. What am I thinking? Okay, so
Hi, thanks.
series.
Hey, Ben.
So there's my series. Oh, I know why I did this wrong. There is I said it was an array that's coming in, but this is actually an object. So let's fix that. I guess I could just leave this. I've never done this before, but I think if I just left this blank, it would figure out what it is. So let's try that. I don't particularly like that, but it might be useful in our case, because at any time we could be passing in a different kind of data. What if I want to show the product of the X and Y in a tooltip? Interesting. We'll look at that in a bit. All right, so now I'm getting errors. All right, let's see. So there's my data coming in. That's what I want. So why is that? Oh, I know why. Okay, let's go back to FileMaker. Let's do this. So it needs a series. It needs an array. It needs an array. So I am setting that. So then I'm going to do this. JSON set element. We'll do, I don't know. I don't really like this, but no, we're creating a new thingy. Actually, I'll just do this. I always forget about this. I don't know. Do I need a, oops, series and then JSON. All right. Hey, Siri, stop. Oh my gosh, I'm saying series and it thinks that I'm talking to it. So let's actually put this into a results, a variable. All right. I don't know if I've never done it this way actually, where I'm using the brackets and then I'm putting a 0 there. Does that work?
I'm not sure you use array in that.
Well, oh yeah, because it's an object. Man, I'm distracted by Siri telling me right here. Let's just do this. Man, I'm gonna start using the blank and let FileMaker figure it out. All right, results. All right, there's my array. That's what I need to come back into FileMaker, into the JavaScript. Okay, there we go. So I've got my data coming in. So this is the example of showing how to bring data in. It's a lot of work because you have to get the data to conform to what the JavaScript library wants, but use FileMaker skills or use JavaScript skills to do that. But that looks like the way it could be. You had asked Al, oh, Jensen, I'm sorry you left. What if I want to show the product of the X and Y in the tooltip? So looks like right here is the tooltip. So I could simply take this. I'm going to just copy this. So I can, all I need to do is update the point format. It looks like that's what it is, because that's what I'm getting when I click on something. I want to do the product of those two. So I might just do this. You're talking about multiplying, right? I could do point dot x. Actually, why am I doing it that way? I don't need it this way. I'll just do point dot x times point dot y. Yeah, okay. Can't find variable point. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, because it's
Those are objects. Those are objects, aren't they? Let's see.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
blanket.
Is that you talking about? Are you saying that?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's look here, because there's got to be a way to do that. Highcharts.
Actually, it's setting it as a JSON object, it looks like, because it's hyphenated in what you copied, right? So it's height, colon. But you could do math in there, couldn't you, with what?
Maybe you need a
SX or
back state.
Let's see here. Let's look and see, because maybe there's a function that we can give it a function instead. Oh, it's a string. Okay. Al, is this your post, by the way? Never mind. You're just thinking of examples. Someone had posted this in the Claris community, and I wanted to make sure it was, if it was yours. But you're just adding features onto it. Would also like to set a callback to say pull file maker. Oh, this is your post. Okay, yes. I hope you're okay with us using it. We're having fun with it. We liked it. It was fun. Thanks for joining us, by the way. I appreciate it. But this is exactly how I would be getting data into FileMaker. I'm using the JavaScript development environment. Does anybody want to wax eloquent about the JavaScript development environment while I figure this out? Who would like to wax eloquent?
wax?
I'll wax. Who's waxing?
You can start. And then
Wax
Full
we'll
Brazilian. Full Brazilian here.
Go ahead, Ben.
No, who did I jump in on? Sorry.
This
Doug,
is-
is that you?
So we're doing a post. We're looking at a post from the Claris community, which turns out to be Al's. I helped him answer the question, but he was interested in knowing, how do you get data into it from FileMaker rather than doing the substitution? How do you get data in? And so I'm walking through the process and showing how I would do it. And yeah, so I'm using the development environment. That's where I want you to step up.
Yeah.
How awesome it is. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Al.
I'll give you 5 minutes. All right.
I'll do my. Let's see here. Just because I'm jumping into this cold. It's been a crazy day, but nice to see you all today. I finally made it. Hi, Al. You're muted, but anyway, I'll wax lyrical. So, but do unmute yourself, Al, if you got questions. Because yeah, developer environment. Why I love the developer environment. No, it fills that gap between. There's a sort of bridge between, as you probably know, getting your. You've got FileMaker on the one hand, you got like JavaScript on the other hand, and what Jeremy's done with the development environment is to make it a really great way to interface those two things, let's say. And what I like about it is it kind of works. It takes a little bit of learning. There's a few skills that you might not have as a FileMaker developer, so you might need to learn a few things. Working command line, and particularly working with Visual Studio Code. But it's really worth taking a little bit of time to do that, because then it really gets you up and running really well. And once you've got it, it just gives you this great tool or sort of set of tools whereby you can start building and editing your widgets. So I'm hoping to get anyone want to feedback on that. I'd love it if Al would say
Yeah,
something.
no,
Is Al very shy? Are you a shy person, Al?
Microphone isn't working, he said.
The biggest
Oh,
thing,
okay.
I think the biggest thing, and you touched on it a little bit there, Ben. But the biggest thing it keeps you in a development environment. By that I mean it keeps you in VS Code or whatever, whatever IDE you want to use or web developer app you want to use, whoever. Most of us here use VS Code, but it just keeps you in that development environment. So case in point, if you've looked at some of the coding that Jeremy's been doing in here, you still have that color code. You do all this in FileMaker and Fields, you're not going to have any of that. Plus it gives you the ability to just type a single command line to upload it, build and upload it to FileMaker, and you're done. You don't have to copy and paste anything. So that's the biggest key to this.
Well, the thing that I
Totally,
find,
Mark. Oh, sorry.
sorry, Ben. The
No,
thing
no, go.
really helpful is, well, two things. One, the JavaScript itself does certain things much more efficiently than FileMaker does, as far as resources utilized and time to do a calculation over a large set of data. That's one thing. The other thing that I find really handy is I have some widgets that I'm constantly updating and improving and embellishing. And with VS Code, I can work on my embellishments in the development environment and see the changes that I'm making and not affect what's live on my customer's version at all. And then when I get it the way I want to, I can push it up to the customer and voila, it works just the way it did in the development. So for doing incremental development, it's really handy to do it that way. You can't really do it that way in FileMaker unless you're.
Plus,
You
doesn't
can't
this
really do
give
it
you
that
the, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but doesn't this give you the ability to kind of a workaround to the 30,000 character limit in a field? Because I know some of this stuff, even some of this stuff Jeremy's been doing with all these things, I mean, there's definitely a lot more than 30,000 characters in there. In some of those fields.
Yes.
That's not. I'm gonna jump in because it's not in a field. It's in a custom function. Like the field limit is massive. You're never going to reach it. It's
right.
The amount of data you can put in a field. The character limit is custom functions, I believe.
That's correct.
Well, I know if you try to copy some of this stuff and paste it into a field, you're going to reach that limit because I've tried it before and it's given me errors.
That's
with
interesting.
Variables,
That's
variables as well. Variables.
variables. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be it. But yeah, that's an interesting one. No, that's interesting. We have to look into that because I hate saying things, but I'd say it's custom fields, probably custom functions and variables. Fields should be okay, but it definitely helps with something in there to be tested. I'm going to be testing this before next week. You can give it a go, Mark, too. I'd be really interested.
Some of that sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's funny because some of the stuff they say is you can't do, but then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know how it chooses when when FileMaker wants to decide to do it.
I was going to bring up just those are good things. And what both of what you guys said and what Doug said, incremental development, like while you're developing, it's just a great way of doing it. You can really quickly see what's going on. And also when you need to go back to something, when you need to like do an update sometime later, I find it's just a much better way of doing it.
All right. That was awesome, guys. Thank you. So Al, this is what I use. Huh?
Plug for you, Jeremy.
That's great. This is what I use every dang day to do my work. And I run my whole business off of this. I build widgets for people that okay, so that need widgets done, FileMaker developers. So this is what I use. And haven't gotten to it yet, but there's an easy way to deploy it. The development environment sticks all of the code into an HTML field, which will be then used to the web viewer will read that as soon as we get to that. So where would the JSON be placed for deploying multiple series? That's a good question. Let me answer your first question and then we'll do this. So I learned something about this. The Highcharts allows you to, so here's the data. It, depending on, of course, which which chart type you're using, you're still giving an array of arrays. The scatter chart only needs an XY. It doesn't need all of this stuff. This is like the label apparently or something. So it's a third. In my case, I'm only doing two. I'm only having two values in each point of data. Okay. Now I learned, this is interesting, that if I wanted to, so here's all the data, Ada, Alma, whatever, all these people. Then I've got another, well, maybe I'm misunderstanding this. So what I'm trying to get to is that there's a custom, wait, where did I see that? There's you can add a custom property to this right here, which is an object, which then allows you to put anything you want inside. So like, where was it? A reserved subspace to store options and values for customized functionality. Oops. Here you can, where was that? Here you can add additional data for your own event callbacks and formatter callbacks. Okay, so what, wait, where is that? Is that on my custom? That's on the series. Is that on, that's there. Where is it? I'm trying to figure this out. I've gotten lost. Series. Let's go back up here. So we're at scatter. Personally, this is why I would never use Highcharts because it's really complex. I'm looking for the series. Where the hell is it?
Got to be in the data, doesn't it? No, no, it's not.
Where is it? So it's a high level one. What, I don't understand where I'm missing it. Series.scatter data. So this is what it looks like normally. An array of data points for the series. For the scatter series type, points can be given in the following ways. Oh, interesting. You can give it this way. You can give it this way. Or you can give it, interesting. Okay. So there's a lot of possibilities.
See you, Orlando.
Oh, gotta go. Happy New Year, Orlando. Good to see you. I thought I was onto something, but I guess I'm not because I don't.
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to?
Al was interested in being able to multiply. I don't know if this is an actual use case or just playing around with the ideas, but put in the tooltip the product of these two. And I can't put, see, I can put in some string, but that's what it is string. So I wonder if I did point.x, maybe, let's see if this, I don't know, maybe this will work. Okay, actually this might work. Times point.y. Maybe this is as simple as this. Nope, see, let's try something here. Let's do, I don't think that's going to work because that's JSX and it seems like it's, yeah, that's not working. So what I'm trying to do, guys, is I'm trying to access the points custom data.
You had the number though, and when you just put point X in there,
Yes.
they displayed the number, right?
Yes.
So how about if you multiplied it times another object?
Okay. Well, I think that's where we're gonna just see. We're gonna just see.
I think that's just gonna be Y times X.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
But Jeremy,
can you
you
do
just make a
variables?
do a variable somewhere else, like above it, and then just
Yeah.
display, do the calc, set it as a variable tooltip.
I can't because the library itself is taking the series and it's plotting it out point by point.
So
So
you could do it when you're creating your data in FileMaker.
yes,
Add it as an extra bit of data. Is that what you would? Because
that's what I'm trying to get to.
Add it
Because
as a custom data.
exactly, Highcharts has a custom
Yeah.
point or custom series. I'm going to do custom. I saw the word series in plot option series custom. This is what I think I'm looking for. Yeah, so this is it. So a reserved subspace to store options and values for customized functionality. So that's where I need to put it. And the examples, I was trying to follow the example here, but then I got lost. So there are, let's see if we can understand this. So here's Alexander. Where's Alex? I got it. Ugh. There we go.
you've got a lot of windows open.
I got a lot of windows. It's annoying. So, well, let's just go with Oliver because he's right there. So 7, 7, 10. Okay, so that number, oh, interesting. Well, that number is already here. Interesting. Wait. How is that? Where is that coming from? See, okay, so keys. Yeah, custom.rank. Interesting. Okay, so tooltip.format. Parentheses. So this is what I'm looking for. Point.options.custom.rank. So that's where I'm trying to get to with the charts.
That's just picking out the third dimension of the array, right?
Wait. Well, no. It's okay. So now I'm following this. Okay, hold on. So the series is female names. The data is this. So the series starts with an object, interestingly, that we have here. So we have a series in our script. We have a series with the name, the marker, and all that stuff. So that's what this stuff is.
Yeah.
If I do custom, then I'll say keys. Fourth position.
Yeah, it's the third element.
You're right. Name, custom value, Y, custom rank.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if I just put, so let's go in here then into our data and do 138. Okay, and we'll just do 100 and we'll just do 200. Okay. So now let's just graph this as it is to see if it's going to mess up. No. Okay. So now I think I have to tell it the keys, right?
Yeah.
In the plot options, not in itself, but in the plot options. So let's copy this. Or no, I can just write it. I don't need to copy it. So do I have a plot options in here? Plot options, scatter. What do I want? I want series. Man, I miss.
That's a different kind of chart. Yeah.
But it should be fine. So plot options, scatter. I assume these plot options are specific to the scatter chart, if I were to raise this up 6, then I'm going to get a different size. Yep. Okay. So let's do this. Sorry, Al, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to keep my head in this and figure it out. So series. So let's add another plot option called series. And it is an object, and it is that. And then stop Siri. Jeez. All I want to do is say keys. So that's the only thing I need. X, Y, and product. Okay. So let's see if that messes anything up. Nope. So now let's try this. Point dot. I don't know. Let's just try product and see. There we go. Got it.
Nice.
Now, this adds more complexity, of course, when it comes to creating the data. I don't know your situation now, but I assume most of us don't have data in this exact format inside of FileMaker. You have these as records, 3 records, one with the X, one with the Y. You could have a third column that does the multiplication, that does the product, and then it gets put in here. The hardest part, once we figure this out, is to format the data as you need it, as this chart needs it. So
couldn't you do that in the JavaScript? Just add another element to the each array with a mapping function, or
well, yeah, that's what I was suggesting, is rather than having the data in this perfect format, we would have it in, I mean, the simplest way, I'm just going to do it quick, is to call it points. We'll create an X point. Let's do height. Let's just stick with the height, weight, and product. Oops, not that. Now I might not put this, I'm just going to go ahead and do it for now, but I might not put this product inside of my field, because I might just use the JavaScript to do the multiplication. I'm kind of the idea that the JavaScript should do most of the work when it comes to any of the calculations that we do. Since this is just the only reason I'm using the product is to display it on the charts, it doesn't really belong in FileMaker, in my opinion. That's just kind of how I would operate. Right now I have the data in an X and Y and a Y column. Okay, great. So I'm kind of I'm replicating that. So we're getting over time. If anybody needs to leave, that's cool, but I want to finish this. So this is how I would get the data, rather than having it pre-formatted in a field. This is not bad. I could run a script to do this. What I typically do is I'll use the execute data API script step, because I'm using FileMaker 19. I will use the execute data API script step to go get this data, and then I will feed it into the JavaScript. And at the very top where the data comes in, I will use JavaScript to format it in the need of the library of the chart. I won't use FileMaker to format it because it's just a lot more complex. I guess actually, now that I'm thinking about this, maybe this is what I would do. I would do an as JSON. Maybe this is easier. And I would do JSON set element. I would do this, and I would do 0 weight. What? Oh. Oh, I need this. Hold on, let's do this. Let's format this correctly. Whenever I do multiple JSON set elements in a calc, this is how I do it. 0. Wait. Yeah, this is right.
You don't want those quotes around the 0 though, do you?
I don't know. I thought it
No, you
didn't
want
work the
0,
last time.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, thanks.
It's an array, right? Yeah, you just want
Yeah.
0, 1, 2, 3. But you
All
want to
right.
put a 1 in front of height.
No, I wanted it. No. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, 1. Yeah.
I am right.
Yes, you are. 2 and then products. JSON number. All right. So there's
Well,
my
that's
array.
where you could save your field. You could just have the calculation in product.
Let's do that. Height times width. Okay. Good point. Wait, what? Oh, JSON. Oh, I missed an N. Okay. What? Wait. Silly. All right. So now I've got that. I don't need the product fields. So now what I'll do is I'll create a list of, this is a little bit extreme, but list of as JSON. And this is a summary field. And it's a list of the as JSONs. Okay. Now, when my get data script runs, rather than just pulling it out of the field, it's going to open a new window. New window, go to the points, show all records or whatever records I want to find, and then set variable data. I'll do this and substitute. Now I'm using this substitute. Points. I don't mind this. This is a fairly, and I should turn this into a custom function, but this is a fairly benign use of the substitute to turn the list of, oops, that's not even right. The list of as JSON into an array.
You can use my custom function on Brian Dunning's web page.
Okay.
I do this stuff all the time. You can choose a different delimiter.
So let's just run this quick. Oh, I need to close the record or close the. All right, so let's see what my result looks like. Yep, it's exactly what I need it to be. Great. And now I can just run it through and do what it needs to do. So let's close the window. Let's run this. Close window. Normally, I would use the execute data API script step to go get this stuff. But it's really just a matter of how do I want to go grab it this time. I use the execute data API pretty much all the time. My development environment, at least a lot of them, has a template script that uses it. Have you used that much, Al, the execute data API script step? So let's run this and see here. So there are my points. Now, if I go and I add another one, and I have no idea what these numbers mean. It's the height and the weight. So there we go. Now I have my 4 points. Great. At different times. Okay, good. So now I'm able to do this. I'm able to translate the data, the points, the actual points into what I need for the chart. I'm doing it a little bit roundabout by using this and such, but it works. It's just 3 data points, so it's not really that big of a deal. So there we go. So now I've got all my points that I need, and now I can graph this. Let's talk, because I have, this is definitely, I'm showing what it is. I I do this work for people, you know, people hire me to build widgets for them. But let's chat. I'm happy to share some ideas with you as through this as well. But this is how I do it. Now let's finish this by doing the deployment. So let's pretend this is good. It's all ready to go. It's perfect. I'm going to go over here into VS Code and run a little command line npm run deploy to FM. Let this run. It's going to package up all this JSON and it's going to stuff it into this field right here. Now this contains everything. It contains all of the Highcharts code, contains all of the code that I wrote. It contains everything that's needed to run this thing. And I don't need VS Code. So now I can close this and just go about, go on my way. And, I guess I got to do one more thing. I always forget this. And it's never a good idea.
Rename the web viewer.
No, my load widget script is looking for the JS dev widget name, and I need to update that to be scatter. I should, I don't know, build in something there. So this process, well, there it is. This process, this load widget script goes and gets the data, the code, the HTML from that file, from that record, that field, and it stuffs it into the web viewer, and then it's usable. So this is how I run what I do. This is what Doug uses. Ben uses it sometimes. I think Sam is very is skilled at this. Orlando, who was here a few moments ago, he only uses this method now to do it. And it's much simpler because overall, as people were saying, it's so much easier to write JavaScript over here. It's so much easier to write the JavaScript over here than it is over there inside of FileMaker. I'm not doing any substitution. Now, we haven't talked about this. This is where, maybe you and I can talk, but the only thing I'm getting in is data. The rest of it is hard coded. And in most cases, that's okay, because this chart is meant to show one piece of data. So I don't care if the text of the title is hard coded inside of the JavaScript. If I suddenly needed it to change, I could say new title name, and I could redeploy the dang thing. And then when I reload it, my new chart has shown up. So this is basically a configuration area. I don't have to worry about putting this into a script.
What other libraries are you referring to?
Do you need the other libraries on the Highchart site? I mean, I'm importing all of them, which could slow this down a little bit because I'm only using the scatter chart, but I've actually never seen that to be a problem. I mean, it's fast and it's loading. So I don't know what it needs to run the scatter charts. It actually just needs a chart library. That's all it really needs. But apparently I must be loading everything into my into what I'm doing. But
yeah, the npm install for all the various charts was the same command line argument.
okay. So Al, this is how I do things, and to put a commercial on this, this is what we go over in this community and in the JS and FM course. We talk through all of this stuff, and you get really good at doing this, working with libraries. And the Highcharts is a little bit more of a complex library, but it followed the same patterns that I teach in the course. So you're familiar with Highcharts and maybe other libraries, but just wanted to let you know that that's how we do things here in this course. So.
I'm interested in Al's last comment there. Have you seen that, Jeremy?
I would want to be able the app to stand alone. Yeah, this runs alone. This runs offline. There's no problems with this because all of the code is stored into that text field. And so the context, because of the way that I've set this up, context is not important. This happens to be on the context where the table is, but that doesn't have to be the case. I could come in here and I could change the context to like the points record, or the points table, and it would still I don't think it would have any problems because the way that I've scripted things, it still is going to fetch the code from here. Now I'm choosing to open a new window and set the field into a variable. You could use execute SQL to do this. You could use other ways to fetch this data, relationship if you want, but context is not important in the way that I'm setting this up. So, and it will be able to run offline. All right. So that is the JS Dev environment. Glad you were able to come here. I hope you don't feel seen or singled out or anything. It was an interesting problem, and I wanted to talk with the team about this. This is a good group of people that do this stuff a lot. So, any other closing thoughts? Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it. Have a good week. Have a good new year.
See you, Sam.
He'll get to the new year before us, right? Is that how it works?
That's right.
So we'll then Ben and Orlando and Hugo. Hugo, I never know where you're at in a given week, right?
Oh, was Hugo here? I missed Hugo. Are you still here, Hugo?
He's quiet. I banned him from talking. Oh, yeah, I deleted.
That's probably a good idea.
Probably.
I hope he's listening to that.
Oh, he left. All right, guys. Well, Al, let's talk. Feel free to reach out through the community or Hugo's back. Shh, don't talk about him anymore.
That's good, Ben.
Yeah, reach out. We'll talk and figure things out. I'd be love to help you. How you doing, Hugo? Are you able to talk now?
I can.
You can. Where are you at these days? Ireland?
Hong Kong at the moment.
Oh, still Hong Kong. Okay.
Nice.
All right. I got more international folks than Al, where are you located? I've seen you in the community for, many years now, but don't know much about you. Where are you located? Southern California. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Let's talk. But yeah, reach out. Take a look at the. I think you're in the community now. I'm not sure if that's what happened, but my JS and FM course teaches all about this stuff, and of course, just being here once in a while, being in the community is grateful too. It's a great place to learn how to use JS and FM. Oh, we talked to guys meeting some years ago. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll have to. I remember those. I remember being out there. I miss doing those travelings. I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that more. But all right, let's call it good for today. Sound good? Thanks for all your help, guys. It was fun. Let's do group coding more often. That's fun. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Take care.